anyone who comes into the building, whether an employee or a visitor, will now have to go through a checklist and temperature scan. That includes employees, and that'll be done daily. And if there are any employees that have any symptoms whatsoever or present any symptoms, they'll be sent home and asked to quarantine. We've seen an upspike in COVID regionally, nationally, and as a result, the governor has issued yet another executive order dealing with this. And there's a host of things. If anybody is interested, it's Executive Order 192. A lot of the responsibility falls back onto the employer, and this is not only public, but also private employers are going to have to comply with this. So we're going to be protecting our employees as best as we can, and hopefully we're not going to have any instances where we have to quarantine or close the building as a result. And hopefully all our employees stay safe.
To try to develop solutions and implement solutions to improve safety on Dry Hook. Unfortunately, many township residents have stories about how they were almost hit by a car on Dry Hook, whether they were walking or biking or running or driving. Tricia, who joined, literally had to pull her daughter to the side of the road to avoid a car from hitting her. My dog was killed by a speeding car as I was walking her this summer, and the car me by inches. So, we're going to come back to the committee meeting with some potential solutions to generate discussion. And, we hope that we can work together to be proactive and prevent any accidents, tragic loss of life, on Dry Hook for the township. And we're hoping to get your support going forward.
Karen, is there a particular area of Dry Hook that is of concern, or are you talking about sort of between 523 and say the Dogwood, or are you you're not talking about East Dry Hook, you're talking about Dry Hook?
We're talking about Dry Hook, yeah. So there are a few spots that are particularly problematic. Where my dog was killed was right before Cushatunk. So say I live on Voorhees. So say between Voorhees and Cushatunk.
Okay.
It's particularly windy. And we could probably isolate a couple of spots. I know there's a particularly bendy area as well. I gotta say, maybe between Johnson Road going toward 523,
right?
Where I just creep because there's always some oncoming car in the opposite direction that's speeding around that curve. Near Springtown Road is another spot. Dogwood and Johnson. So we could probably work together to isolate, the particularly problematic areas.
I agree with you. I've almost gotten hit head on in my car. People fly and they take their half out of the middle. So I applaud you for undertaking this. I can give you some names of other people who along Dry Hook and Round Valley who would be delighted to join with you on this as well.
That would be terrific. And together, hopefully we could, brainstorm together with the Readington police. I've spoken to them and they're, they've been very supportive and, they stake out different locations on Dry Hook from time to time. And I know other residents have worked to put in the speedometers that kind of measure people's speed and